Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
There's no job too big or too small for Gonzalez Lawn and Landscapes. Owner Chris Gonzalez works hard to make your commercial or residential properties one of the neighbors will envy. You won't find a lower price anywhere else, and that's a guarantee. We offer mowing, landscape removal, small construction jobs, and more. Our team is licensed and insured to ensure the best work for Lawrence County and surrounding areas. Your satisfaction is our goal. We won't leave until you're happy. Call today to set up a free quote.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
Top quality equipment rentals at the right price. It's not too good to be true at Rent Right Equipment and Sales. We guarantee clean, reliable products that are up to your standards. Our family-owned business has been doing that for more than 40 years. Let our friendly and knowledgeable staff take care of you from purchase to maintenance. Saws, drills, lifts, mowers, generators, you name it, we've got it. Stop by and see our inventory today, located on Buffalo Road in Lawrenceburg.
A&M Medical is Lawrence County's newest medical clinic, specializing in urgent and primary care. Practitioners Andrea Bain and Meredith Hutton bring years of experience and compassion to keep you and your family healthy. A&M Medical features a separate well waiting room to meet your needs. Visit today and ask about A&M's weight loss program and telemedicine services. That's A&M Medical, located at 2367 Highway 43 South in Leoma, Tennessee.
The storm doesn't ask. It takes. It tests. It pushes everything to its limit. Some things are built different. Some things are built to last. Tested by the elements. Proven by time. Engineered for whatever comes next. Summertown Metals. Strength in every storm. Building dreams that last.
At Smith Tax and Business Service, we offer many services. Along with personal income tax prep, we also offer tax preparation for corporations and partnerships. If you're a small business and looking for some extra help, give us a shout and we'll get you fixed up. Call Mary Beth Smith, Marion Matthews, Brooklyn Bates, or Michelle Staggs to find out how we can help you. Located at 208 Pulaski Street, phone 931-244-6633.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Arts, crafts, stationery, journals, books, educational toys, wrapping paper, devotionals, greeting cards, and much more can all be found at Paper and Thread in downtown Lawrenceburg. Shop local to find the perfect gift or have a custom gift basket made for just the right occasion. Paper and Thread has a party room now available for birthdays, classes, and so much more. We could go on and on about all the neat things you'll find at Paper and Thread, but you just need to hop in your car and head down there. 106 North Military Avenue in Lawrenceburg is where you'll find them and discover what makes Paper and Thread awesome. That's Paper and Thread in downtown Lawrenceburg, 106 North Military Avenue, just north of the square.
State Line Garage Doors, owned and operated by Justin Gobble, is your trusted local expert in garage door services. Based in Lawrence County, Tennessee, State Line Garage Doors is built on over a decade of hands-on experience, providing reliable repairs, replacements, and installations for all types of garage doors, residential and commercial. They proudly serve our community and the surrounding areas. When you work with State Line Garage Doors, you're not just another job, you're part of our community. Their commitment to quality, transparency, and craftsmanship is at the heart of what they do, and they offer free estimates. State Line Garage Doors. Reach out to discover the difference a company with local roots can make for your home and business.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Welcome back to X Sports Today. AJ Good, joined by Taylor Plott. Michael Marks, finally off vacation for once. He's joining us here today. He's just been a world traveler all over the place. Been a busy man, very busy man. Hayden Burks, our producer extraordinaire, and one of our commentators as well. Guys, lot to talk about on Monday. It's not like anything went down this weekend whatsoever. Nah. Kind of a boring weekend.
Yeah, not much going on.
You know,
there were sports.
There were. I guess sports. I was mowing the lawn and dealing with multiple temper tantrums from a 3-year-old, which, by the way, do not go anywhere near Fifth Avenue right now. You see a naked 3-year-old, just let him go. We're potty training him. It's just kind of part of the process right now. But guys, let's dive into last night, Game 7 in the NBA Finals, and first half looked like we were bound and determined, because I think we were all kind of thinking, okay, this is going to be a 1-2 possession game. This might even go into overtime. First half, you can definitely think that that's the direction this game was going into.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you watch the first really, honestly, that first quarter, but really the first several minutes, it was just back and forth. Indiana would take a lead, and then OKC would get close, tie it, then they took a little bit of a lead, and it just really was back and forth. But, of course, the big story of the night ended up being Halliburton tearing his Achilles. And, I mean, when they showed that slow-mo replay, I mean, obviously we all knew exactly what that was. And I hate it for him. I mean, he was the guy for Indiana and had an incredible postseason run, and unfortunately to see that end with his injury. But, I mean, you look at the depth of that Indiana team, they still fought. They still had a 1-point lead at the half going into the second half, but Oklahoma City proved in that second half that they were the best team in the NBA. They were the best team on that court, and they smothered, as you see right there, a huge turnover right there for Indiana. They smothered the Pacers' offense going into that second half, and they just ended up taking over this ballgame.
Yeah, and TJ McConnell, I mean, I was talking about him earlier. He had to play 28 minutes due to the Halliburton going down. Had 7 turnovers.
Yeah,
and it's cool when he comes off the bench and he's stealing inbound passes and stuff like that. But when he has to be your number one main go-to guard, it's not going to fare well. And then again with McConnell, Matherin had 24 points off the bench. Your 2 leading scorers in Game 7 cannot come off the bench. You need your big guys to step up. Neesmith played 30 minutes, took 3 shots or 5 shots. Miles Turner played 24 minutes, only took 4 shots. I mean, you gotta have your bigger name guys making plays in a game like this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with Oklahoma City, they like you said, Taylor, they proved that they were the best team in the NBA. Like you said, it was real back and forth between that first half. And Michael, you were saying before we went on air about how the defensive presence from Oklahoma City was the key factor. You know, I brought up how points off of turnovers were a big thing down the stretch. I think Oklahoma City had like 5 turnovers compared to the 19 turnovers from Indiana. So that was the key factor on, Oklahoma City winning the championship. You know, like you said, losing Halliburton, he was doing very good. He had, I believe, 9 points before he went down that injury with 4 minutes to go left in the first quarter. So it's one of those things where they weren't going to diagnose what the injury was, but we've all seen that injury multiple times, and we knew exactly what it was.
Yeah,
turnovers were big, guys. Indiana had 23. They had 8 in the third quarter. When they go in with that 1-point lead, that's when Oklahoma City really exposed them. 32 points off those 23 turnovers. Guess how many turnovers Oklahoma City had in the entire game?
Like 9?
It was
8.
Yeah, it was below 10.
And Indiana had that in one quarter last night. I mean, if you're looking at one stat in the stat sheet, other than points in the paint, Oklahoma City was plus 14. I think a lot of that has to deal with Halliburton, and they had to go small because, Halliburton not there to help them out. But that's the one stat, and that's the one stat that has hurt Indiana in all of these games leading up to Game 7.
Yeah, exactly. And you needed, obviously, kind of going through the game flow. You started off good. Halliburton was on fire. I actually made a comment to my wife. We were watching the game. I said he's summoning his inner Caitlin Clark right here. He's shooting it from like the logo basically and just draining them. And he was probably on pace to have a potentially very, very good, if not career night for him. And who knows? They probably could have come away with a win. But you look at kind of the game situation as it went. Started off great for Indiana, limiting the turnovers. Halliburton was clicking. You were going good. He gets injured. You still were clicking good because you had good replacements for him. McConnell, Naismith were able to take the reins and do a pretty good job going into that half. But then you look at the second half, and Oklahoma City turned on that defense. I firmly believe we were talking about this even before the show, people were saying, oh, this is an asterisk for Oklahoma City. I don't think so. Oklahoma City proved that they were the best team. They turned that defense on. A lot of those turnovers, Indiana did not force those turnovers. It wasn't bad passes all the time. It was a suffocating Oklahoma City defense that forced those turnovers. Oklahoma City came in and they won that game. Mm-hmm. Indiana didn't give it to them. It just got taken away from them.
Yeah, and this was worst case scenario for Indiana. Not only do you lose the NBA Finals, but you're not going to have Halliburton at all next season unless he can make a miraculous return in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that was worst case scenario for Indiana. But OKC, I mean, I think that this was, other than winning the finals, it was a great scenario because you had SGA, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren all show up in a Game 7.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what you're worried about with the young team is who's going to be that big dog that steps up in Game 7 because it's a lot easier to have sweaty palms than it is to have a big game in a moment like that. And for OKC to have those guys stepping up on a 68-win season when you have first-round draft picks out the wazoo, we could be looking at the birth of a dynasty right here with OKC.
It could. And honestly, that's everybody's going to be focusing in on Halliburton injury, Indiana. They came short. Great point there because not only did OKC had to show up, but their stars had to show up, and they did. So they proved that they could rise to the occasion, and it wasn't just who was the team that just ended up just, being the least crappy.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I think the longest tenured guy on this Thunder team is Lou Dort, which is, he's been around since the bubble, but it's a really, really young team, really well coached, and their big stars finally showed up.
Yeah.
You look at the plus minus for their starting lineup: Chet plus 10, Jalen Williams plus 13, Hartenstein plus 1, SGA plus 11, Dort plus 12. SGA 12 assists. They had 20 assists on 35 made shots.
Yeah, double.
You look on the other side for Indiana. McConnell was great. He had to play 28 minutes, but it almost felt like for every big play he made at least a mistake and a half on the other side.
Yeah.
How many bad turnovers or bad block shots where he's trying to go up against Chet or go up against somebody last night where they just took advantage.
Well, they had a stretch there. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but it was in the second half where they got it. They were down like 20, and then they got it within 10, and he was a huge part of that comeback. But you're right. After they got to like that 10, I don't know if they got it to 9. I think they did. I think they got it to 9 for like one possession. But then all of a sudden, McConnell had like back-to-back turnovers. But then it looked like a lot of that was just forced by the OKC defense. But he was the spark that they needed. But you're right. Then all of a sudden, he kind of coughed it up.
Yeah, and there was a moment there early in the second half, the first 4 or 5 minutes of the quarter, where T.J. McConnell was the only person that could hit the basket for Indiana, and that's kind of where you look at the shot chart, and I get Halliburton only played 7 minutes because he got hurt, but when two of your other four starters aren't taking more than 5 shots, it's going to be hard to get all that production back from your guys on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Naismith, he had probably his worst game in the finals, if not the whole entire playoff run, the way he played last night. I mean, he was just basically a no-show. I mean, he only shot 3 shots, y'all said? 5 shots. I mean, it's just, you got to have that out of your guy, especially when Halliburton goes down. Like you said, McConnell, he's had an incredible finals run and a playoff run in general from the defensive side, and then offensively turned it up another notch. But, yeah, like you said, with Indiana, just those mistakes down the stretch in that second half. I mean, we kind of knew going into this after Halliburton got hurt that it was only a matter of time before Oklahoma started putting pressure on them. We saw that in the second half. But, like you said, with Indiana, we've seen them basically win without Halliburton. I mean, you look at game 6. I mean, they weren't sure if they were going to have Halliburton, and Halliburton really wasn't a factor on the offensive end except when it comes to certain assists and all that stuff. So, I really, I said Oklahoma should win this, but I'm still not going to count Indiana out. So.
Yeah, and you look at the assist totals for the team. I don't know exactly what the whole total is, but I mean, just looking at those numbers, that's numbers Halliburton could put up by himself.
Yeah.
Right. And not having that facilitator for that kind of offense, because everybody can stretch the floor on that team. I mean, pretty much everybody in the NBA can stretch the floor at this point, but with his ability to create space and how he was shooting the ball in the first quarter, I mean, I honestly thought Indiana had a really good chance to win it. But I'm going to give props to the NBA for having a game with defense. I mean, that was the first time I've seen an NBA game with defense and people that cared. And I was, I don't know how long.
That honestly, you make a great point there. There was a moment, especially in that second half, where I literally thought I'm watching a college. This is the March Madness championship game right here. Game 7, this is college level type of, we're going to make sure that we clamp down and we're getting this win.
Yeah, it was definitely good to see that. And we saw that a lot in the playoffs. Kind of some lower scoring, every possession meant something sort of games. That was really good to see. Did you guys see the end of the game celebration? In fact, kind of subdued in a way. I'm not saying they need to go crazy and throw champagne all over the place, but I was watching some of the video. I'm like, oh man, good for these guys. They're young. They're probably going to go crazy. It's just they look like a bunch
they expected it. I mean, it's
it was almost like it was just business.
35-year-old vets and like, we just hit our quarterly numbers. Drink, on to the next one.
On to the next one. Yep.
That could honestly be. I mean, if that's truly what they're like, not only maybe like we expected it, but hey, we came in, we did our business.
Right.
If they have that type of mentality, watch out. I mean, because they're just gonna be like, we know what we need to do, and we're going to do it.
Right, well,
it'll be different for the parade.
Yeah, it will.
It's going to be different for the parade.
That's true. They're young and having a good time. But look at the futures of both of these teams. Starting first with OKC, then Indy. Where do you guys see these guys going into next year?
Well, honestly, I think Oklahoma City, they're going to have to make some choices when it comes to who they're going to choose. Williams and Chet, they're going to be coming up on contracts here eventually. You might have to lose a guy like Lou Dort. Guys like Caruso might have to go out. Try to maybe trade a Case and Wallace. But then again, Oklahoma City's got a bunch of first-round picks still from Houston, Phoenix, and just the Clippers too as well. So I'm looking at that, and I think they're just going to be kind of like a reload and restack type of team. So I don't see them going anywhere. They might not be as dominant as a team as they were this season. But you look at Indiana, and we all kind of talked about that. Maybe they have the formula of how to get to the championship and overall the best team. Well, now with Halliburton out, you're going to have to look at this date coming up on the 28th, or excuse me, the 25th, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is when the NBA draft
I think
is.
so, yeah.
Because I don't know what pick they've got, but you might have to start looking at trying to trade up and maybe get another point guard for the time being. So,
Yeah.
like I said, if you're Indiana, you're going to have to think about, okay, we've looked at it. And if one thing's for sure, if I'm wearing the number 0, I'm a little concerned because look at all the guys that wore the number 0 into
Lillard, Tatum,
and now Halliburton. So, but then again, all things aside, if I'm Indiana, I'm going to be looking at that portion. But Oklahoma City, I think they've still got a few years down the road.
They do. They're established now. The question is, how long does that establishment last before you start kind of revamping things for that next potential run? But OKC's not going to go anywhere. I think they have a good group. I feel like if they do want to either potentially sell or potentially trade away some players, at least I feel like they still have a good established base that they can just be like, you know what, we might have to get away with this guy, but we can at least add something and we still have what we need structural wise. And then the same thing for Indiana, but I feel like Indiana's in a different spot because I feel like they are now up and coming, whereas OKC is already there, and now we're just waiting for that kind of back end. Indiana's got a great formula to work with. They got a great structure of guys. Obviously, yes, the question is going to be Halliburton. How long is that injury going to keep him off? And usually that injury is going to probably keep him off for at least
February,
March for next season. But now that question, like you mentioned, Hayden, is how do we approach that? We need someone can obviously, if you have McConnell, yes, he could probably take over for him, but then the question is, who are you going to come in and bring someone to kind of take over what McConnell was doing, kind of be that structure-wise? How are you going to, kind of manipulate things? But at the end of the day, I still feel like they're going to be a contender next year. Yeah. They have a great group of guys, great coach, great kind of strategy, formula, the way that they like to do things. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and Indiana doesn't have a first-round pick, but I think a great pick for them would be Yaka Jonas, the point guard out of Illinois. Mm-hmm. Big guard. He's like 6'5", 6'6", great vision, can shoot a little bit, kind of like a Halliburton. He's he's big, elusive, but he's very good, IQ, vision, stuff like that. So, I think they're probably going to have to try to make a move in the draft because I don't think, you want to come off an NBA Finals run without a solid point guard, because he wasn't putting up the craziest stats every night, but Halliburton was the reason they got there, and the reason they were so good in the playoffs.
And you got Mathurin too off the bench, so that's a big help. You can insert him into the starting lineup and see how he does.
You have options. You have options to take off the bench that you have now, but the thing is, you need to be able to have that backup. So
fill in that slot.
So yes, they're going to have to get someone guard-wise, specifically point guard, in the draft, I think.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we had a big deal in the world of NBA go down yesterday. Kevin Durant, on his way out of Phoenix, will tell you where he is going and also what other things could be looming free agency trade-wise when we return.
A moment in real estate with my dad, Jeff Hood.
I get asked a lot about what the market's going to do. How's the real estate market? I've been selling real estate for a long time, and nobody has a crystal ball. And you know what? When it's your time to buy or your time to sell, it really doesn't matter what the market's doing. It's your time, and you have to do something maybe. What makes a difference is the agents and the experience that go to work for you. We're Keller Williams Hood Company, located here in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. We can help.
Hood Company, powered by Keller Williams, the #1 name in real estate.
Jack Davis Insurance, located at 201 West Gain Street in Lawrenceburg, has you covered through life's obstacles. Jack Davis specializes in group insurance for businesses and institutions of all sizes. With coverage for life, accidents, cancer, critical illness, short-term disability, dental, and vision, Jack Davis can customize a plan to meet every need. Now available Medicare plans for seniors. Contact Paige Davis at 931-492-9284 today for Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and prescription drug plan insurance. Serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1987, call the team at Jack Davis Insurance today at 931-242-5225.
Raptor Series from Hustler Turf. A premium line of residential mowers designed with a wide stance for operator comfort. A one-piece 11-gauge steel frame and welded steel deck for added durability. Finished off with premium Kawasaki V-twin power. We are Hustler Turf, and this is Hustler Country.
Hey guys, I'm Kyle Hammock, General Manager here at Heritage Automotive, your Chevy GMC dealer in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. I'm from Marshall County, Tennessee, where I went to Cornersville High School. I attended Cumberland University. After Cumberland, I went into the United States Marine Corps to serve the country. After that, I went right back into the car business. I'm very familiar with the car business. I have been around the car business pretty much my entire life. And my commitment to you is to ensure the most competitive new and used vehicle pricing on the market, as well as the best service around. Well, we'll treat you like family here at Heritage Automotive in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Why should you bank with Employee Resources Credit Union? We offer a wealth of services, including mobile banking, video banking, bill pay, and more. We also offer loan rates that are lower than those of our competitors. Employee Resources Credit Union has been a financial pillar since 1964, providing long-time support to members of the community. Join us and become part of the ERCU commitment, not for profit, for service.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Welcome back to X Sports Today. AJ Good with Taylor Plott, Michael Marks, and Hayden Burks. And guys, along the lines of the NBA, Game 7 yesterday, but before Game 7, blockbuster deal was announced. The Phoenix Suns have agreed on a trade, sending 15-time NBA All-Star Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and the number 10 overall pick in this year's draft, and 5 second-round picks, including the sources that told ESPN on Sunday the trade can be formally completed when the new league year starts on July 6th. So just initial thoughts of you guys of KD going to Houston.
Well, I mean, yesterday I was kind of just sitting there. It popped up on my phone, and it was just one of those where you're like, "Wow." I mean, Houston was one of the 3 or 4 teams that definitely had the higher odds to get them, and and similar to OKC, Houston's a really young team, and I think getting a veteran guy like KD, your go-to scorer kind of guy. I don't know how much longer KD has, but enough to kind of teach those guys around him. This is really going to prove how good of an actual leader KD is.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that was stuff that we've talked about on here before, which is we felt like Houston was going to be kind of one of those spots where if he landed, it was going to be one of those. And I completely agree. I feel like he still has game left in him. He's still a really good player. I don't think he's what he used to be, but he's still good enough that he can help you, obviously, from an offensive and even defensive standpoint. But to your point, Michael, I think it's true that you actually now have a valuable veteran that can teach the younger guys some things that maybe some coaches can't really teach you. And I think that's a really good fit for the Rockets, not only for kind of boosting your prospects of possibly making a run, but also helping that younger generation coming up. And obviously we don't know who they're going to be drafting this year, but helping those guys. And I think that's a good move, and we'll just see how it plays out.
Well, and Fred VanVleet was their oldest starter, 28.
Yeah.
So definitely some experience. I get 37's getting up there, but definitely some, at least the experience part of it.
And playoff experience too, if that.
Well, I look at it from this standpoint on Kevin Durant's side first. Out of those three options, he picked the right one.
Mhm.
He got the right option with Houston. Ime Udoka, really good offensive mind coach with San Antonio under Greg Popovich there for several years. Was with Boston. Then that whole mishap happened. Now he's in Houston. Took them from a 14 seed to a 2 seed within 1 year. So Houston's on the rise. Jalen Green, in my opinion, was the guy to go. In my opinion, I would say he is a better offensive threat right now than Amen Thompson, but Thompson is younger and so much of a better defender, like it's unreal. But, you look at that group with Alfred Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr. coming off the bench, Amen Thompson coming off the bench. You lose Dylan Brooks, which that's, in my opinion, a good thing. That's a good thing. You lose Jalen Green, a young guy that, I think will do really good with Phoenix. He's going to be a good pairing with Devin Booker, kind of too, the same player. Green's more athletic, obviously. But you look from KD's side, you got to look at this is probably his last stretch. This will probably be the last team he's with. And so you got to take in consideration, okay, all the rumors about you. You have to have a number one guy partnered with you. It hadn't worked in Phoenix with that. It didn't work in Brooklyn. Golden State, you had to have Steph. That was the rumor. Now it's a new NBA where that might not be the case now with, you got Fran VanVleet and then you got young guys coming off the bench too. If he can't get it done here, there's going to be a lot of question marks on his career. So, like I said, Houston's still going to be right there in the pack in the West. They're definitely going to compete with, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Lakers. Like I said, the West is stacked, but I think Houston definitely improved their chances as they got put out in the first round. I could see them in the conference finals against Oklahoma City.
They needed someone to hit big shots in that playoff series against
Golden State.
And Jalen Green wasn't getting it done. That's not what Dylan Brooks is about.
Right.
So this is a big jump that they're getting a guy like KD that can make these plays.
Yeah, they are, and I completely agree. Is that this has now bumped Houston up to, obviously they were a very good team this past round, but then now you've actually added something that you really needed. Kind of go off what you mentioned with, if he does not get it done with Houston, what does that mean about his career? And honestly, I hate having to bring that up because Durant is such a great player. He has had a great career, and he's going to be up there as one of the top tier players in the NBA, I think. But it's just one of those things where, if he doesn't get that championship, that's just kind of like, kind of a little bit of a letdown, and I get that, but I don't want that to take away from the fact that he was, at the end of the day, a very good NBA player, and he will always be like that.
Yeah, he's a 6'10", 3-level scorer that can do anything. I mean, it's a crazy good player.
When you guys look at the free agent list, and I've got it popped up here for 2025, LeBron is at the top of the list. He has a player option, which probably more than likely he takes. Fred VanVleet, you mentioned him, Hayden. He's actually 31 as a club option, is owed almost $45 million if Houston decides to pick that up. You got Kyrie Irving, James Harden. They both have player options. Julius Randle with the player option. You look at actual legit free agents: Brook Lopez, Clint Capella, Bruce Brown Jr., Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner, Tim Hardaway Jr., Duncan Robinson just opted out of his deal there. So D'Angelo Russell, lots of Nas Reed on that list. I don't think Minnesota, he's got a player option due up there. So those are just some of the names on that list that could certainly be interesting if some of these guys decide not to pick up those player options.
Yeah, I mean, just overall, I don't see really many of those guys changing anywhere. I think Houston will pick up VanVleet now, depending on after what this upcoming year looks like. They might try to move him because he is kind of getting up into those latter ages. He'll be 32 after this next season. I like Lopez moving if there's a name out there. I don't see Harden moving anytime soon, just because he's in L.A., even though the Clippers, in my opinion, they're always going to be in the mix too as well. But, LeBron, I don't see him going anywhere. Randall, obviously, is going to be in Minnesota. They wouldn't give him up for anything, in my opinion. Nas Reed, he might be a good key factor for somebody to try to pick up. Duncan Robinson would be a great pickup as well if the Lakers or The Lakers would love to have Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, somebody that can shoot threes.
Yeah, somebody that can shoot threes.
A spot-up shooter for LeBron and Luka to pass
They would
to,
they would love it. But then again, I don't really see many shakeups. I think just the main character that's in the free agency. Well, he's not in free agency, but he's going to be on the market more than likely. Is Giannis.
Yeah.
The whole offseason is going to trend around what Giannis does.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Jalen Williams is due a team option from Oklahoma City too.
Yeah.
That could certainly be. But I mean, you look at Indiana. We were talking about them: Miles Turner, Thomas Bryant, James Johnson, Tony Bradley, Isaiah Jackson, Quentin Jackson, Enrique Freeman. Now that's a lot of names. Most of those guys didn't play. That much, but that's a lot of names on this team. That you. Maybe a couple of them you want to sign. The rest of them you could probably part ways with.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they might try to part ways with Miles Turner because his production in the playoffs was non-existent. And you know he's had his moments where he's been that really good, reliable stretch five. But I mean, to be completely honest, I forgot he was on the Pacers.
Yeah,
because
they were talking about it in the trade deadline if they should move him, and that was probably when they should have because his stock is way lower than it was.
It's way lower now, but also you look at the thing where you know what he's done in the past. So I could still feel like if Indiana really wanted to make a move with him, one either to keep him and then use him as hey, trade him for someone else, or just say we'll just part ways now. That could still be a good pickup. There's still going to be teams out there can be like, we know what he's done in the past. Maybe he just kind of lost a little bit, but we can get it back. It could be used as a good pickup for a team, whether free agent or trade wise.
Turner's like what 6'9", 6'10"?
Yeah, I would say
and Hartenstein. I mean, I know he's on Oklahoma City, but a player like Hartenstein that can rebound,
big guy that can rebound,
big guy that can rebound, block shots occasionally.
Capella was at the top of that list.
Capella would be a great pickup for Indiana
because they don't need two scoring big men. That's never going to work. And Siakam is by far a better offensive player than Miles Turner.
Because if you look at Oklahoma City, you got Chet that can stretch the floor, rebound, and score. Hartenstein, all his main job was just to defend and rebound.
Yeah,
that was it.
Set picks, stuff like that. Yeah.
Russell Westbrook also a free agent coming up this year too.
That could be interesting.
I don't know where he'll be.
Ben Simmons is out there.
You at least got
is he gonna steal 100?
Don't worry, LeBron. Ben Simmons is here.
You at least still got a decent amount of names that you could there's no so-called big name. I think though the Giannis stuff, that's probably the possible big one. But there's still good players out there that teams could pick up and need.
Yeah,
of course, also in 2 days too, in Brooklyn, Barclays Center.
Yeah.
The NBA draft.
Yeah.
What are you going to do in that? I mean, we obviously talked about Indiana, what they're going to do. Could we see a trade with Giannis on draft night that would just shake up the NBA?
Yeah.
More than likely, we all know that. I'm blanking on his name. Duke player. Cooper Flag. That's it. I knew I had to see
Boy,
him.
that
Cooper
would be
Flag.
That would be a trade.
I don't think
Dallas.
Giannis to Dallas, I don't really see it happening just because I know Kyrie come back in AD.
Houston was the popular option for Giannis, and now that KD's kind of taken that spot,
that's kind of.
I'm about to say, where's a good fit for Giannis? I mean, obviously, people are still saying San Antonio.
Well, I mean, let's not say like all 30 teams wouldn't take Giannis, but where would be his best fit?
You talk about something that could be bigger than having Luka out of Dallas. Would be Dallas trading for Giannis. And then Minnesota getting Flag.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
I'm about to say there's a lot that's going to be fun. After Wednesday with the first round and then Thursday with the second round, we're going to be having a lot to talk about, and then free agency because always around 4th of July time. That's when it starts.
That was when KD.
That's
signed
when
with
KD
Warriors.
signed with the Warriors. That exact. So around that time is when it's going to get fun.
It's dead period in high school sports, but it's not dead period in the NBA.
It's the hot time.
Well, coming up next, guys, College World Series. We have a new national champion. We'll talk about it when we return.
Are you looking for the perfect refrigerator? What about a new stove, or washer, or dryer? It only makes sense to shop at the one place that specializes in appliances, top to bottom, big or small. And that's Kelly Appliance in Lawrenceburg. Kelly Appliance is home to all major name brands, including LG. LG makes life good with a full selection of refrigerators, cooking appliances, dishwashers, microwaves, and more, including appliances made right here in Tennessee. Family owned and family operated. Stop by Kelly Appliance on Jerry Street in Lawrenceburg today.
LUS is committed to our customers, from providing and maintaining energy-efficient utility services to friendly, helpful customer service. LUS is there. At LUS, we're always challenging everything we know, every day. We strive to improve efficiency and reliability while focusing on our responsibility to our customers and the community. It's our promise to provide dependable service to our customers every time. Because we don't just work in Lawrence County, we live here too.
Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is your premier source for hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, residential and commercial carpet, carpet tiles, ceramic and porcelain tile, waterproof floating floor, plus blinds and shutters. Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is also home to all name brands and can tackle projects big and small. Installation? You're covered with installers who've got years of experience and stand behind their work. Let Lawrenceburg Flooring and More make your design dreams a reality. 2760 Highway 43 North, or visit lawrenceburgflooringandmore.com.
Mac Brown has been providing photographic services for 55 years. During that time, Mac Brown photographers have photographed children, seniors, weddings, schools, musicians, and commercial businesses. The studio takes great pride in producing quality photographs and services for its many clients. While the studio has adapted as times have changed, their goal of providing excellent photography has remained constant. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at macbrownphoto.com or give them a call at 931-762-4263. Let the professionals at Mac Brown Photography turn your memories into treasures.
At Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, we're proud to be locally owned and operated because we're not just a bank, we're family. When you call, you'll be greeted by a friendly representative who's ready to discuss your banking needs, as well as offer our competitive rates on CDs and money market accounts. Our loan decisions are made in-house and never sold to a secondary market because our commitment is simple. You matter to us. At Lawrenceburg Federal, we offer all the conveniences of larger banks with a personal touch. Join us at Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, where community, trust, and service come together.
If you're looking for a company that can do it all when it comes to building, look no further than Tennessee Properties. From new home builds to remodels and commercial projects, our contractors work hard to give your space a new life from planning to finishing touches. Whether it's new interiors or dirt work, they see your big picture without forgetting the small details. In the market for a new home, they partnered with Freeman Development to bring new homes to the Oak Hill subdivision of Lawrenceburg. That's Tennessee Properties, licensed and insured. Call today or visit tennessee.com.
Volco Auto Supply in Lawrenceburg has a legacy of being a family-owned and operated company. Since 1927, our business has grown and evolved into today's one-stop source for all your automotive supplies. But in that time, one thing has stayed the same, and that's our commitment to our customers and their needs. At Volco Auto Supply, you'll find everything for your car, truck, or even fleet of vehicles, but with good old-fashioned customer service the way it needs to be. That's Volco Auto Supply, 416 Buffalo Road in Lawrenceburg. Visit volcoauto.com.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Welcome back to X Sports Today. Taylor Plott, Michael Marks, Hayden Burks. I'm AJ Good. Guys, we got a new national champion in college baseball. LSU on top of the world once again. I believe this is their 8th time in school
and only
history.
9 attempts, too. When they get there, the only time they've ever lost was in 2017. So when they get there, they win.
Won the first game 1-0 yesterday, win this one 5-3, and offense got it done when they absolutely needed to, but man, their pitching was outstanding from their top 2 studs. Guys, one, you're looking at the first overall pick. The other one, looking in that first-round pick range as well.
Yeah, I thought Game 2 was going to be a really interesting matchup with Morrison versus Ianson because that's two of your better arms in the country, two 12-win guys, and I was just really surprised to see Morrison get chased that early. I mean, he didn't look great. That four-run fourth inning kind of killed any momentum Coastal had. Again, they tried to get it into it with that 2-run homer in the bottom of the 7th, but just not enough offensive weapons because as soon as Ianson got done, they brought in Shores, who's just light 101 with 92-mile-an-hour sliders. So, I mean, nothing easy when you're facing an SEC team, especially LSU this year.
I'm not shocked at all that LSU got this done. I am shocked that they got it done in 2 games. I really thought I mentioned last week I did feel like the win streak for Coastal Carolina was going to come to an end. LSU was going to at least take one from them. But I really thought that this was going to go 3 games. I thought that LSU was kind of, I think you mentioned it, AJ, was kind of up and down through not only kind of the season to an extent, but really in their playoff run, it was just kind of, it felt like they're kind of up and down a little bit. But I mean, they came out, they did business, and Coastal Carolina was, I hate to say that they're outmatched because we saw how good Coastal Carolina has been in this run, but they looked outmatched.
They really did. Yeah, they really did.
Well, I was tired of hearing the narrative all the end of the last week. Just everybody, Coastal hadn't faced the SEC arms every weekend like LSU did, and I'm like, well, they went to Auburn and beat them in 2 games. LSU went to Auburn and got swept. So, in the regular season, I didn't, I thought that narrative was a bit lazy, but it held true. I mean, at Coastal, I mean, they couldn't hardly touch Kate Anderson. I mean, the only time they really got anybody on base was when he walked them, and then. And then yesterday, LSU's offense kind of stepped up a little bit, and just Coastal just didn't have enough pop for them.
I felt like they obviously Coastal got that home run. And I was like, okay, maybe this would be the game because I felt like they would take 1 game. I was dead set that this was going to go 3 games, and I felt like, hey, here we go. Coastal's going to
say, especially with the coach getting thrown out in the first, you hit the home run in the second. You're like, all right, let's go.
Here it is. They're gonna make the run. They're gonna win this game, and then we're going on game 3. And then that was it. Yep. LSU took over the rest of the game. Coastal got 2 in the 7th, but from that point on, you felt like LSU had it in the bag. I mean, there was just no offense threatened from Coastal.
And think how they got there. Was it Friday night against Arkansas, or I think Thursday or Friday with that crazy rally where Arkansas's defense just
imploded.
I've never.
They talked about how good they were, and they just fell back-to-back plays.
Your biggest pet peeve, fielding.
Fielding,
Yeah, I have that whole rant, and then you get the Golden Spikes Award winner
throwing it to third.
A tailor-made double play ball to get out of the threat or whatever.
Yep.
I don't think it would have ended the game.
That was at least a dagger from that
point. At least it would have killed the inning because the next guy would have lined out or whatever the case would have been. And then he throws to third. Makes no sense. And then you got a left fielder. I don't care if he's a freshman or not. When you're playing in the SEC and you're playing against high-level competition, you know what a rocket off the bat looks like, and it hits him in the back. How can you screw that up so bad?
And I'm not the biggest Arkansas supporter in the world, but I honestly do feel bad for the kid a little bit. He's an Arkansas guy. He's a senior, and just. Well, that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
The Loy guy, I watched a lot in the Tennessee series. I thought Tennessee's pitching ate him alive, and other than maybe 1 game.
Well, we mentioned it on our show that watching the Tennessee series, he did not look like a Golden Spike Sport.
And he didn't look good in the regional. Didn't look good in the super regional. He had 1 really good game here at the College World Series, and this is the future of baseball, and he doesn't know how to turn a tailor-made double play in a clutch game.
Well, his defense was supposed to be one of his best qualities because his bat could was a little up and down throughout the season.
That was just a situation where you find out, okay, that game situation was too big for you.
Yeah.
You need to fix something.
Yeah, and honestly, I think his swing's way too mechanical, and I think really good pitching at the pro level is going to eat him alive unless he makes some adjustments. But let's go to the other story from yesterday in Major League Baseball. You mentioned it, Michael, the coach getting ejected, and we got some video of it here. I am still in shock. I was watching it live when it went down. I was my 3-year-old's having a meltdown in the car on the way to Florence, and then this guy, Angel Campos, has a meltdown of his own. 10 pitches into the bottom of the first inning with a runner on second. I don't care what Kevin Shaw said to you. You can't
run the head coach.
You can't run the head coach in an elimination game when it could be the final game. Nice flop there, by the way, buddy. I think everyone in the world knows you flopped at that point, even though, that's 2 games. Quit with that.
He got embarrassed in front of 25,000 people and wanted to look big and bad.
Well, let's break it down. What Schnall said in the post game. There's 25,000 people in the ballpark. Okay. And the warning actually was for the first base coach.
Yeah.
So he didn't know. I've read a bunch of comments on Facebook and on X and Instagram and whatnot. And, he did give him a warning. Actually, he gave the first base coach the warning.
Yeah.
He did not hear it. So when he points and he gives him the warning, then he points at the visit, or they were the home team, the home dugout, said, okay, that's a warning. And he comes up and goes, what for?
Yeah.
He tells him for arguing balls and strikes. And he's like, I didn't say that.
Right.
And then he tells him,
you missed 3 of them.
Three of them.
And so now he just went ahead and said, well, now that you're talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he tossed him. I mean, he could, there's 25,000 people. Your guy just stole second to get in the scoring position. So your fans are going crazy behind you.
Yeah.
LSU's fans are, kind of rumbling a bit. It's noisy. You're not going to hear that.
Yeah.
And Angel Campos has a history of this in the big leagues, which is why he's not there anymore. I saw one comment. It's dry. Well, he was just a part-timer that worked 858 career games.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, some of the dumb comments on this, and I hate the you can't argue balls and strikes. Okay, at the high school level, the little league level, I'll give you that because you don't have the best angles of these things. But at the major Division I level,
if you're hiring real umpires, umpiring is your job at that point.
Major Division I level, the pros, especially MLB, you can. Why? Because you've got video of this now.
Yeah.
You've got these trackers, all of these things that can tell you whether or not that pitch was a ball or strike.
Yeah.
You can watch it in front of you, go back, look at a monitor that's about 5-6 seconds behind, see if that pitch was a strike or not.
Yeah.
So, you can argue balls and strikes because you're looking at it.
Yeah.
And I know the rule. And, you can argue a play at first. You can argue a play at second. You can argue a catch in right field. You can argue a ground rule double. You can argue a hit by pitch, but you can't argue balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Like
the umpires, man, their feelings might get hurt.
I know UT has a history of Campos. I've seen some of that before. I mean, if the NCAA, I know I'm going on a tangent. If the NCAA really wants to get on everyone's good side, ban that dude.
Yeah.
You don't have to ban him from baseball. Ban him from the College World Series. Barry LaFlop, who wanted to do his best LeBron impression and come out. Make sure he doesn't come out again for doing his whole thing. So whoever is in charge of this, why is that guy there?
Yeah.
Everyone complains about this guy.
Yeah.
My phone was blowing up yesterday with people I know all across the country going, we've written report after report after report on that guy.
Yeah.
How in the world is he there?
Well, taking this to a major league perspective, has the Angel Hernandez type of mentality, if you will, where, all right, obviously from... I don't know what goes through Angel's mind, but if you truly believe what you're calling is what you're seeing, and you are that bad, then why are you such a quick trigger on someone who's accusing you of doing something you're not doing?
Yeah.
Now, if you know that, hey, I know I'm not going to, not really good at calling balls and strikes or whatnot, and then someone comes after you, we're going to have a quick trigger about, I don't care about you, you're gone.
Yep.
So, not to put words in his mouth, but it just seems like you're exactly right. You know the track record of this guy. You know what's going to happen most likely if you put him in that situation. You're just hoping that nothing happens. He actually has a good game. Yeah. But you're right. You're putting yourself into a spot that almost everything bad comes out of. Yeah. And in the first inning, now I get it. Yes, it's loud. You did not know, from the head coaching perspective, you did not know that he gave a warning to the first base coach. Now, I will say that first base, third base, you have a good eye for where that pitch is, so you know if the umpire's missing calls or not. And so you did not know that he gave it to the first baseman. Yeah. Well, now I'm not saying that he did this, but it was almost like he did not bait the head coach into doing this, but you gave the head coach something to argue about at that
Definitely
point.
incentivized
when
it,
you
yeah.
incentivize it.
Walk towards him
And walk towards him. So now you've pissed off the Coastal's coach.
Yeah.
Now he's going to fire back because he knows you've been missing calls.
Yeah.
It's just...
I mean, and the pitch in question, I mean, you can see it from the side. If a catcher does this, unless he is set out on the outside part of the plate and he does that,
Yeah.
you look at the pitch, even from the ump cam, which is what we showed here.
Yeah.
I mean, that ball is up here, that far inside. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't even close to being.
Well, and what nobody's talking about because nobody got thrown out. The home plate umpire, I get they switched between games. The home plate umpire was not good in game one either. I mean, I mean, this was honestly
the crew itself.
The crew this year compared to last
less than
year
stellar.
is it's way off.
But it's just so disappointing, and I mean, I think it's a national championship.
It is. Yep.
Emotions are going to run high, especially his, because you know
he's a first-year head coach.
He's a first-year head coach, but you know you're in a national championship game. Like I've seen national championship games in other sports. Officials know high tensions.
Yeah.
They're probably going to say some things. They're probably going to get. I mean, when you ever see Nick Saban who can blow a gasket? In the first quarter, did he ever get tossed?
Nope.
Not a lot.
And here's another one. Game 7 last night, Rick Carlisle. Did y'all see him step out on the...
Yep. Oh, yeah.
He was hot.
And you hardly see that from him.
And you hardly see it. And the officials, coach, we got
that's usually a good recipe to run somebody when somebody absolutely blows a gasket.
He was all over the... Like, he had been held back twice.
When the national championship this year where a coach got a T, or was it a lead 8 or Final Four?
It was one of the Final Fours.
I think it was one of the Final Fours.
It was one of the Final Four games. I can't remember who it was or if it affected the course of the
Houston
game.
and
Houston.
Yeah, it was
Houston.
Because
Kelvin Sampson got it.
Yeah, against Duke, but it didn't hurt him. But it happened. And it was so rare. Everyone had this big reaction.
Well,
to it. It's like at this point, and I don't know what
and
it is
especially with
about.
a coach as well respected around the country as Kelvin Sampson, it's definitely.
I don't know what it is about baseball, but man, those guys have the quickest trigger. And at some point, like someone had the NCAA had to say high tensions unless they call you the word, and call you it. Let's put it this way: if they call you that word 5 times, toss them. But in this situation, just kind of watching the video over and over again and talking to a couple people I know were there, their reaction was, "Wait, you called that a strike?" Or I think what happened was the first base coach goes, "What's the count, Blue?" Because the kid at home plate was like, "What just happened? What's the count, Blue?" "Oh, it's 0-1." You called that a strike, and that's when you got the warning.
Going back,
that's why are you honing in and focusing on that instead of going to the next pitch? That's what I mean.
Like their recruiting coordinator was their acting head coach, their first base coach was the director of player development. I mean, it was kind of funny to see.
Going back to that basketball thing real quick, because you make a great point where it's like you're at the highest stage here. Now, this wasn't March Madness, I remember, but it was SEC championship, and it was when Bama was playing LSU, and it was just absolutely phenomenal game. And you had courtside mics that you didn't hear during the game, but people clipped them, and you saw it after the game. And there were moments where Nate Oates and then it was Will Wade for LSU, both of them at one time. I'm blanking on who the referee is, but he's a really good referee. He tries to make sure everything's fair and whatnot. But he even went to both coaches, like when they're arguing, and say, "I understand you. Hold on, hold your horses. Let's talk about this." Because he did not want to toss them. He did not want to tee them up because they know that environment and everything's just energized.
NBA, I mean, we know they make mistakes. Scott Foster's one of them, bless his heart. But they are just totally better than MLB and what we saw in college World Series.
And I've called a lot of D1 games. You've seen it. We've all seen a bunch of D1 games in person. Just the dialogue between officials and coaches and how officials can de-escalate a situation by just talking. Same at college football. I love being on the sidelines, and God bless him, UNA's coach is a madman on the sidelines. I've never once seen him get a personal foul penalty because these guys understand it. It's a lot riding on this, but for some reason you can't say you missed 3 of them. That's
what's really confusing, because you can argue anything in football, anything in basketball, but you go to argue balls and strikes, and it's
like you can't touch it.
And why can't someone just go, you guys need what the NCAA needs? They don't need to grow the sport. They need to grow a spine when it comes to guys like this. And get them out and make everyone happy and get everyone on your side and get a little goodwill, because you've got none at this point.
Yep,
So.
absolutely.
All right, guys, well, coming up, dramatics in the world of golf. We'll check that out when we return.
Since opening our doors in 1904, Builtwell Bank has existed to be the local economic engine for the communities we serve. No matter if you're buying a car, saving for retirement, or finally buying that forever home, Builtwell Bank is here to help. From personal checking and savings accounts to a full suite of business and commercial banking with treasury management services, we'll make sure you'll have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and stands by you every step of the way. No matter where you are in Tennessee or Northwest Georgia, there's likely a Builtwell Bank location nearby. Come see us and let our dedicated financial team help you with all of your banking needs. Member FDIC.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you, because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen, because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretto, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Make your property rock and roll with services from G&S Excavating, specializing in white sand, compost, mulch, topsoil, landscape gravel, and steel landscape edging. Turn to the pros who know how to make your project shine with years of experience. The best part is they're locally owned and operated. Choose from a vast selection of mulch and rock from their conveniently located facility at number 3 Valley Road in Lawrenceburg, just off Buffalo Road. Phone 931-279-3841 and get started today.
At Florida Mid-South Realty, we pride ourselves on our family values, professional service, and a deep local knowledge. With a small town feel and a personal touch, we're here to help you navigate the real estate process with ease. Whether buying, selling, or renting, you can trust us to guide you every step of the way. And don't forget to catch Florida Rockstars, our live podcast every Tuesday morning at 8. Florida Rockstars, rocking the real estate news and all things local. Florida Mid-South Realty, your hometown real estate experts.
Juarez Tile Pros and Remodeling can help you with all your home remodeling and construction needs. They specialize in custom walk-in showers and floors, and no job is too big for their expert team. Licensed and insured, call Juarez Tile Pros and Remodeling today, located in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Welcome back to X Sports Live. AJ Good with Taylor Plott, Michael Marks, Hayden Burks. Guys, wild day in the world of golf. Kind of a debate. Is this a comeback for Keegan Bradley, or is this a meltdown for Tommy Fleetwood, who can just not win a tournament to save his life?
It's a meltdown.
That's kind of what if Tommy did not have the history he had, I could see Keegan came back and won it. But yeah, unfortunately, it's a meltdown for Tommy, and he just, jeez, because he is.
The lights just get bright for him.
I say, when you thought the Arkansas player was bad, you just wait for Tommy and see what happens.
Chuck Davalon, Tommy Fleetwood.
Time and time again, we've seen that he gets into these spots, and he does not have the mental capabilities to handle that, and he always lets someone back in. And in this case, it was Keegan Bradley, and I love Keegan Bradley. Great win for him. Always a big fan of his, but I mean, good grief.
Yeah, Bradley moves from 9th to 7th is the highest he's ever been. He's kind of been, he had that one stretch kind of round when Tiger was really hot towards the end of his run before he decided to cheat on his wife and crash in the trees on Thanksgiving. But he was getting really popular. But he's been, like, the last 3 or 4 years, he's been low-key really, really good. He's won a lot of tournaments, and he could be the captain of the Ryder Cup team. And that shot he in on 18 when Tommy bogeys, and then he puts him in that 2-shot swing to win it was one of the best shots I've seen in golf.
I will. Yes, that was one of the best shots that I've seen. At least Keegan hit. But look at the shot that Tommy had. That thing did not even make the green. That was short. That when he shot that, in my mind, I was like, "That's it. He's not winning this now because he is." We've seen him do this before, and I was just hoping. I was like, "All right, put this on the green." And actually give yourself a legit chance to actually clinch this. And he couldn't even do that. Once he hit that shot, I knew it was over. Keegan was taking this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't even know what to say at this point. It's just that bad.
It is.
That's one thing that's great about golf, though, is it's, when we talk about, when we've done that before, we've talked about whether is this a comeback or a meltdown when it comes to team sports, because you have this whole collective part of it. Is it coaching? Is it teams? Is it your stars not stepping up? Golf, man, it's just individual. It's just you, and you're watching the meltdown happen. Jack Nicklaus, even though Greg Norman. I'm sorry, Jack. I am so sorry. Greg Norman. I was thinking Greg Norman's hero was Jack Nicklaus. But Greg Norman has like 100 career victories. And Tommy doesn't have any. But he's been in that same spot several times and has done the exact same thing several times.
Well, you make a great point where, yes, on a week in and week out basis, excluding the Ryder Cup, President Cup, all that stuff. But it is you and your caddy. Your caddy is like your coach. He's your sports psychologist. He's all of that, and you will feed off of each other during the round. And he obviously is going to be there to help you through your round. If you're going through a little bit of slump, help you get out of that slump. But, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, it is up to you. This is an individual sport. This is you versus the golf course versus the other players. And we've just seen, unfortunately, from a Tommy Fleetwood perspective, he cannot handle those moments. He is great all the way up through about maybe, I would say, 70-ish holes. And just, I don't know.
He just
falls.
He just needs one time. It's like I keep telling my son about potty training.
Just get that one.
Pee in the potty one time.
And
it's just like walking. You're going to be good the rest of the way.
Exactly.
He just can't take that first step.
Guys, another fun show today. We'll be back at it tomorrow, same time at 1:30 sharp. But for now, have a great day.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.